everybody, it's me Angelo Martin and welcome to this quick cast. Now, like many other Mac users, I've been using my Notes app quite extensively, and with that I decided to make small little snippet videos that look at all the different features of the Notes app. Looking at where does my notes actually live, and how to the different notes that we can create, to how to organize my notes. Also looking at some of the newer features that's been added with the release of Mac OS 13 Ventura, where we have our, how to create smart folders, as well as how to add in different tags, and also looking at some hints and tips that we can utilize with the Notes app. Now, with any further ado, let's get started with our Where Does My Notes Live? Now, when I click on my Notes app, you'll see that I have two notes sitting only on my Mac. Now, if I wanted to, I can also activate my other cloud services as well. So I'll start off with my iCloud. So if I go to my system settings, I go to my Apple ID and go to iCloud, show all button, which will then show me my notes. And then I can just turn on my iCloud notes. Now, after doing that, I'll see that my Notes app will start populated with the notes that are sitting in my iCloud. At the same time, I have access to my notes still sitting on my Mac. But I can also change certain settings by going to my notes settings, and here I can choose to have my iCloud notes as my default account, which means that if I should create a note, by default it will go straight towards my iCloud account. Also at the same time, if I should create a lock note, it will be created within my iCloud account. I can of course change this back into on my Mac as well as my lock notes. At the same time, I can also disable on my Mac account, but I would first need to either delete or move the two current notes that's sitting on my Mac. Because if I want to disable this, giving me the option to first move or delete it. For now, I'm just going to delete these two notes. And after deleting it, I have to clear my bin. So I'll just select those two notes again in my bin and permanently delete it. Now I can disable it, which will not show on my Mac anymore. Now, besides having my iCloud notes, I can also enable other cloud services as well. For instance, if you have your notes sitting on, say, for instance, your Gmail, or even if you're working for a company that does not want you to use your iCloud, and they are, say, for instance, using Microsoft Exchange, then we can also include that within our Notes app. Now, to do that, we'll go back to our system settings, and we can then go into our internet accounts, and I can now activate my Exchange, my Microsoft Exchange, which is named after the company, DigiCape, and I will just activate my notes right there. Now, after activating that, I can then see that my further down, they have got the category, which is my Exchange, and it says DigiCape with 43 notes. I could also access these notes within my Outlook by just going to my notes category, and here you can see there it's showing me all the notes, 43 items, which is exactly the same as the amount of notes showing under my DigiCape, also 43 items. The same thing I can do with my Google as well. I'm just going to collapse my iCloud by clicking on the arrow at the top, and there I can see there's my iCloud, there's my DigiCape. I'll collapse that as well. And now I can now also add in my Google account, same internet account settings within my system settings. Go to my Google and switch that on as well. Now that I've done that, let's expand it again. Let me just collapse that. There you can see there is my Gmail notes now also added. So now I can easily have access to all of my cloud services. And if it should come to the point where I choose to only use one of them and not have all of them exposed, well, then I can simply just go into my system settings, to my internet accounts, and then just disable them by clicking on the Notes button. And this will then delete it off my Mac, which will then just clear off my Notes app, but it will still be part of my cloud service, which I can always just re-enable again and it will repopulate. Just a quick heads up that there will be certain limitations when we are using any other cloud services within Notes. However, we'll be looking at this when we're going to be looking at using content within the Notes episode. So that is how you can easily add your different cloud services to Notes and have everything within one umbrella. Next up, we're going to look at the different types of notes that you can create, which we briefly talked about within this first episode.